up, people? It's your boy, ThaBlackCobra, back again. We're here with the Wheel Life live stream. So this is all about positivity. This is all about us trying to do things together. This is all about the Wheel Life community. All electric ridables, personal electric vehicles. I'm trying to bring together a community. And James, what's up? I appreciate you, brother, because you're always here right on time. So I think it's important for us to come together, and that's why I'm doing this. Where I live, there's not a whole lot of people that ride these. There's like a handful of people, and so having a community is important. And I am a very positive person, a very energetic person, and I love sharing my energy and my positivity with others. And it's hard to do that when there's not a lot of people around that share your passion. So as you know, when you're passionate about something and others are passionate about something and you come together, you can make a community. And that's what I want to do here. I want to make sure that we can have conversations, candid, positive conversations, and continue the push towards personal electric vehicles, the push towards making this more public for more people all over the world. So that's what I'm looking to do here on the live stream. And some of this I'm saying now, but it's not just for now, because this is also for the replay. I'm hoping that people come back and watch it later. And anybody that's watching, if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If this is your first time coming, I appreciate you being here, because again, it is a community. So today we're going to talk to somebody who, to me, has been furthering the cause of electric vehicles for a long time. He's been doing this for a few years. He started a couple companies. He's pushing legislation. He's interviewing people all over. He's done a lot for the world of personal electric vehicles. So I want to bring him on today so that we can have some candid conversation and further our community. So without further ado, I want to bring in my man, Afeez Kay. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I feel like I'm about to start, going to a wrestling match or something.
Wait, hold on. I got to give you your applause. There you go.
I feel like I'm about to go into a wrestling match. Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Afeez Kay, and I am passionate about electrification in general, not just electric vehicles, but also clean tech as well. And yeah, I'm here. I'm happy to be on your show. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're here. And
Yeah.
as we move forward, I want to say what's up to the people that are jumping in. Hello, Jessica. Good friend of mine. She's popping in. She's not a rider, but she's definitely another positive person. Appreciate you coming in. Jason, nice to have you here. As I said, James, my man, they're popping in now. And this is great, because this is something that, like I said, a community is only a community when we have all the members coming together and having these conversations. And I think that things like this will give us the opportunity to talk about all kinds of things. And that's what I want to do here. So let's start with you though, buddy. I mean, I gave you that roaring introduction, but it's well deserved. And I want you to tell me, first of all, for those of you who don't know Afeez, he's piping in from England. That's where he's at right now. So he's 5 hours ahead of us in England, and he's staying up so that he can jump on with us. And this is something to me that means a lot, because it's important. We scheduled this so that we can do this right. And this is another, he's a kindred spirit. He has the positivity, and we spoke for the first time the other day, and it was like we knew each other for a long time, So Afeez, tell us about yourself. How long have you been championing this cause, and how have you, how much have you done? Give us a brief background on you.
All right, so let me just take you through a quick genesis of how I even came into the electric vehicle world. I was on holiday, I think somewhere in Europe, somewhere probably Venice, and someone rode by me in an electric scooter. And at that time, I was very much about business. So I thought, well, maybe I can go to China and buy a bunch of this stuff. I'm talking about 2015.
Yeah.
2006, 2015, and I went onto YouTube looking to get some more information, and I ran into Tesla. This was about 2015, 2016. So they were still making the initial prototype of Tesla Model S. And I was hooked. I liked the Elon Musk's philosophy of accelerating clean transportation, clean energy, and I bought into that. So initially, I was promoting Tesla vehicles and electric cars in general. I've had a couple of road trips around Europe, working with some of the biggest business universities, using their campuses. Using their campuses as locations to stop and have discussions, but not just discussions about the viability of electric vehicles, but also having discussions with with the policymakers in each different cities. So like, obviously in Berlin, in Turin, in Paris as well. And that was going well. We even, my team was one of the first to organize the first electric vehicle road trip in the Middle East. So I'm talking about Abu Dhabi and Dubai and so on and so forth. So that was going well, right?
Yeah.
Until about 2 years ago. So this is 2018. And I was kind of losing interest. Not really losing interest, but I was just, okay, well, we know Teslas are fast and so on and so forth. But I live in London, right? So London is a city where most of the time you probably don't need a car to get about. The transportation
like New York.
system. Yeah, exactly. The transportation system, yes, like New York. I've been there as well, so I can relate. And it's so well connected that you probably don't need a car. So at this time, I had my BMW i3. It was parked and was just on my driveway. And most of the time, I felt the i3 was just a big toy. I didn't need to drive it. So I was thinking, let's be smart about this, right? Let me get rid of the car and let me see what alternatives are out there. Now, at this time, a friend of mine with a Tesla was also a big fan of Evolve skateboard.
Right.
Yeah. So he was telling me, you should get one of this. This is great for the city. You can just get on the tube with it. Tube as in metro, in your case, the train. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get myself an electric skateboard. So, and then I went on to YouTube again. And then that is when I ran into one of Tushan's videos. Tushan Fohe. If you guys don't know Tushan, you need to watch some of his videos. The guy has stopped making videos for quite a couple of months now, but his subscribers still keep rising.
Yeah.
It shows the quality, right?
And he's coming back.
He's coming back, hopefully on my birthday. The first video's dropping June 2nd.
you want me to show him what you showed me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
This is what Afeez sent me and said this is what got him in to riding.
That's the moment. I think I sent you that 13 seconds. And then I saw something.
This was simply one of Tashawn's videos. So Tashawn's filming that. But if you look, then there was another one where Tashawn and his wife went out. She's riding the Tesla.
Oh. You know what? I'll tell you
What's going on,
that.
everybody?
So the first part was
looks like my wife is enjoying this Tesla.
What was he riding? So I knew it was an EUC.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put you back up so you can finish telling the story. Because right now they can see.
V8.
They can.
And while she does love that wheel, she always complained about how slow.
So if you guys don't know Tashawn, I'm just showing this so you can feel the freedom and the vibe. And this was way back then. This is what got Afeez and myself, because it's the same thing. That freedom feeling. When you look at this video, and she happens to be in a dress there, and she's riding, and it's just so easy.
It's just that feeling that you get of happiness, of freedom, of smile and joy. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So I get it. So go on.
Yeah. So, and then I was looking for my next EUC. My first EUC. So around this time, I was having a holiday in Japan, and I was meant to fly to South Korea. And I knew that Tushan normally drops his video on, I think, every Thursdays or something. So I was messaging him. I was, what do you think I should get? Blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, before you start getting the fast ones first, get something that you can practice on. So get an EUC that is not so powerful, so you can learn, you can crash it. So I got myself the 9-bot 1E+. But as soon as I got it,
got it down.
Dude, I face planted. I just like I was trying to race someone in Hyde Park on a King Song 18S.
Stop.
I think it was a,
you were racing.
I literally went. Honestly, I thought, yeah, this is it. Oh, I'm gonna beat this guy. So I leaned forward, and the wheel just cut out because obviously it was quite weak, right?
Beep, beep, beep.
And that was it. I just went tumbling.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling well.
So, I went tumbling, and since then, power has always been very important to me in an EUC. That's why I always going about power. Power to me is not about speed. Power is having enough buffer in your EUC to keep you up and keep you safe, because EUC is predominantly the biggest safety feature of an EUC is power. So that's how I go into EUC. The rest is just history.
Yeah, man. Listen, this is crazy just thinking about it. And just giving a shout out to everybody in the chat there. Guys, I appreciate you. Real quick, if you're in the comments and you have a legit question, put a Q in front of your question so I know, because we're talking and I love you guys and I'll be popping your comments up. But if you have a legit question for myself or Afeez, then go ahead and let us know by putting a Q in front of it, and then I'll know. I'll be able to scroll, because I'm going to go back and scroll through some of these as we do this, because I want Afeez to share all of his history and all of his experiences, because I think when we share, it helps us all to experience that. So I know that you've done some things that I haven't done and others haven't done. So I know that it helps. So we got, I got some of my, one of my military buddies in here. Yeah, Jan Johnson, I see you. So, and then Daniel, he says, let's see, UK here as well. Hopefully the government, see, this is one of the things, I'll pop that up. Hopefully the government here will come up with some useful legislation for e-scooters. And that's one of the things we want to talk about today, because Afeez is also involved in legislation trying to push this forward in the UK. Because if I'm correct, in the UK, it's they still have laws against riding, right?
Yeah. So let me
What's up, Adam?
expand. Yeah, let me just expand a little bit on that. So,
go ahead.
strictly speaking, and we have to be truthful, they're strictly not legal. Some might say, they're in gray area or whatever, but strictly speaking, they're still not legal. The police will turn a blind eye on you as long as you are riding carefully and responsibly. And that is why it is important that we as a community make sure that we give a good impression and just, be good because you're representing the community. So today I was in a consultation, the Department for Transport consultation. And let's just say that they're still going through the consultation period. There are a few rules and regulations that, if it was passed through, will not make other portable electric vehicle legal in the UK.
And that's
not
good.
It's not going to be good. So, like 12.5 miles per hour speed limit.
That's terrible.
And things, again, just to be clear, this is just a trial period, so things might change. So they're currently just allowing rental scooters to be, to be used right now as part of the trial period. So things might change, but the rules and regulation governing those trials will definitely not allow other innovative PEV or portable electric vehicle to come through in the future. And that is what my company, my other company, Ridables.org, is trying to help the government understand, that there is a bigger scope out there for other innovative mode of transportation apart from electric scooter. Electric scooter is just a subset of micromobility. It is just part of micromobility. It's not the end all and be all. Now, the issue that we have in here is the government only sees rental companies like Lime & Bird. They don't see the growing private ownership community that is
larger,
responsible larger, absolutely larger, that is growing, that is responsible, that, that takes care of each other, that gives each other reviews on the best product to buy and what not to buy.
Right.
And that is what I think that they're missing, and they're only looking at, and they have a very narrow view. And that is what I'm hoping that rideables.org can continue to be called upon as a consultancy company for the Department for Transport. So that I was in a meeting early this morning, I think around 10:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a quite busy day for me in that sense. and it's 9:45 p.m. over here, by the way.
Yeah, he's drinking stuff, trying to stay awake because he's about to go to sleep. But okay, so a couple of things I see in the chat I wanted to go over. One thing I want to be clear is this legalization that we're talking about. This is the UK. Okay, we're not talking about that here, because here right now there's no laws stopping us from riding. That's why it's much easier for us to do things. But at the same time, and I want to put this out there, we're not trying to push for any kind of organization on this end, because we're fine with what we have, other than people's opinion, like you shouldn't be here. But none, but there's no laws against it. The UK is where he is trying to organize this to try and get this solidified so that they can fix it, because they're already in the process of trying to do it. So right now there's laws against it, and the laws that they're looking to enact would not be acceptable. So he's trying to help out to get people on board having this conversation, because no matter what, that train has already left the station. For them, it's already in motion. Over here, we're not doing that yet. And over here, we're fine. We're in a gray area, and we're fine with that. So, yeah, I understand you, EVX. He's in the comments talking about that. And I agree that, right now, that's not something that we need to be pushing. But we have to remember that we're all in this together. So that's why I brought Afeez here. And that's why I believe in what he's doing, because what affects them over there may quickly start affecting us over here. So we have to look at it that way. It's not like something that we can hide and don't shed light on it. And I know we want to stay tuned and keep doing what we're doing, but at the same time, we want to help them to push their agenda, so it'll help us in turn, because we're all in this together. So I just want to make sure that that's clear to people. This is the UK he's talking about. But we did. I'm gonna do just a quick side note. I had a newbie in here that was asking, trying to scroll back and see if I could find where it was. But we had another person talking the same thing about the wobbles. And I wanted to pull it up for you. So Brian, yes, I did see you. We're just getting to them a little at a time. Been riding KS 18XL for about 100 miles. Had a week, the first time a rider started going a bit faster, and I'm getting the wobbles. Now, and he says, is this because I'm new? Please help. Yes, it's because you're new, 100% because you're new. Because your ankles and legs have to get used to controlling it. And once you do, then you'll be able to, some wheels are different. So some wheels, you may have to brace your leg along the side. Then you'll also learn how to stop. When you stop, you lean back, but you sit down a little bit. So, I mean, EVX has a video directly on slowing down and stopping, because that was coming up a lot. People with wobbles at high speeds. So these are all things that you'll get to learn. The more you do it, the more that you'll get used to it. Because I was having that happen to me on the V8. I was like, wow. Really? This thing's wobbling? But that was because I was brand new. And I didn't know. On the Tesla, I didn't have those as many issues, and that was more powerful. And on the 16X was having some, but that went through some different iterations of the firmware. So some of that was a little of that, and it's a little heavier on top. So the bottom line is, yes, you'll get better. Your legs will get used to it. You'll be all right. So I don't want to leave them out in the comments. So, but I do want to pop up a couple questions as we go through here, and you guys will, yeah, EVX said the same thing. I'll pull you up, EVX. He says exactly what we just talked about. Wobbles are because we're new. You're welcome, Brian. That's what we're here for, man. We're a community. You ask a question, and if I can see the question quick enough and pull it in, we're gonna answer it. And it's not just me. I'm not telling you because I've only been riding a year, but there's several people here that have been riding longer than me in the comments. EVX has been riding longer than me. Afeez has been riding longer than me. And so these are people, not just me. This is coming from everybody because these questions that you have are not just from you. So here, let me scroll over here. And so how long have you been riding an EUC? If you guys in the comments want to put your answers up too, you can. How long you been riding the EUC?
Me?
Yes.
2 years.
Okay.
This is May, right? So yeah, literally 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, I know that because 2018 May, that was when I got my E+. Yeah, definitely. I remember that. 2 years, I can tell you what I've ridden so far. So I went through the E+.
Yeah.
Then I had the Tesla after, after falling down on the E+.
Yeah.
Then after the Tesla, then I had the MCM5. Then the MSX. Then the MSX 100 volt 1845 watt hour.
Mm-hmm.
Then the 16X. Then somewhere along the line I had the Z10. Then I now have the MSP. And then I also have the M10 III. And I'm probably going to get the S18.
Yeah, his list is growing and growing and growing. So
I think. But there's a reason for that, though. You know why?
Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. We're going to get to that, too. We're going to get to that, too. We're going to bring it all in. So real quick, I want to pop him up here. Electric Unicycles. I believe that's Marty popping in, and he's saying wobbles also come from tire pressure, tire legs, road conditions, etc. Yes, Marty, that's all true. And that the rest of it usually comes later on, in my experience, because when you first start, it's primarily because you ain't used to it and your legs are all jacked up and it's taking you forever. And then later on, it's all of that he just said. So thank you, Marty. And Marty's have a lot more experience. Marty, how long have you been riding? Because Marty's been in the game for a minute. And then we got EVX. He answered. EVX has been riding for 4 years. Okay. Yeah. You had that? Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about that. You talking to somebody else. So, all right. So let's move on. And so which wheel is your favorite?
My favorite. Before I answer that, so let me tell a little story. So around 2019, Marty might not know this. So I had about 2 weeks just free. I had nothing to do, no work, no business, whatever. And I said, listen, what can I do right now? Where can I go?
Right.
So I decided to come to America, right?
Okay.
And I reached out to Tushon. Tushon was like, yeah, come over, blah, blah, the usual stuff, right? I reached out to Marty, and the guy didn't even answer me anymore. He just was like, So Marty, I'm probably going to come next year once this pandemic is over. So hopefully I can see you soon.
So hopefully you'll answer him this time, Marty. I know you got a lot more people on your page and a lot more people following you. But and also, Marty, I reached out to you because I want you to be in this seat. We want to talk to you. A lot of people have asked me questions and they mentioned you and I'm like, I'm waiting, so let me know. But so
my favorite EUC, that's a tough one. I'll tell you why. It's a tough one because the 16X to me specifically, and because of my use case, is still the best all-round wheel. Because when I'm, getting onto the train or when I'm getting to the bus, the handle and the trolley handle and the torque and the range is just right.
Oh, you said the 16X?
Yeah, the KS16X.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
However, the Tesla, I still miss. I know you didn't like the Tesla, but maybe because it's my,
Don't say that. I love the Tesla. I love the Tesla. The only reason I got rid of the Tesla is because I bought it used, and I was having issues with it. And the only way for me to fix it was to pay another large amount to send it away to get it fixed. and I didn't know what that guy had done to it. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And I was opening it and tightening it, and it would get better.
Yeah.
And then so I sold it to a guy who was like 60, 70 pounds lighter than me. And I'm like, you probably won't even have any issues, you know, but I'm a girthy dude. So I was like, nah, I was like, this wheel is not going to work for me. And one time it loosened up and it started bucking and I fell. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I can't pay $500 or to send it to get it fixed. I can't do all that. So I said, that's okay. I'll sell it. And then the 16X was coming out. And I'm with you. Look, I got a monster, but my 16X is still right here. And my 16X is still that's the go-to for, like, if you're doing something, like you said, you're getting on and off the train, and I love it. But I just got the monster, so, I'm going to be doing more on that. Videos on both coming soon. But
the reason why that question is quite tricky is because I don't think there is one best wheel out there, and I'll tell you. Obviously, I've got like a top 5, everybody's got like a top 5, top 6. They should have gone through as much wheels that I have. So the Tesla, because I think it's probably one of the wheels that I've got rid of that I regretted immediately. The torque, the nimbleness, is just a fun wheel, and I love the lights. I remember as soon as I got those lights.
Yes.
I gave RT a lot of hell on the UC forum because I was like, I want my lights. And it was like, light is nothing. I was like, don't tell me lights is nothing, Marty.
Yes. Look, everywhere I went on a Tesla, they're like, what is that, a UFO? What's that? What is
those lights?
Those were, honestly, those were, to me, some of the best lights I've ever seen on any EUC, period. And
even now.
Because I love the 16X, but again, the 16X is using... is more forward, so you see him front to back. You kind of see him on the side, but no, the Tesla saw on the side, like, it was crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's that. So that's the Tesla, and then you talk about the Z10. Now, this Z10, I have a love-hate relationship with the Z10. So I love the Z10 on trails where there's a little bit of a loose surfaces.
Okay.
But when you start riding a Z10 on the street, it's not friendly to ride, but it's a very fun wheel. I love the way it looks. I love those fat tires, and I especially like it without the fenders at the back. It's one of those wheels you want to take to go see the government, or you want to impress somebody. Like, people will be like, what is that? That looks like a bike, like a bike cut in two, like one of those Yamaha R1 or whatever. It's a nice chunky tires.
Right.
And now we're talking about, okay, so now I'm moving on to the performance wheels now. I'm talking about the MSX 100 volts. I had that, I think it was last year, and I sold that. I love the MSX 100 volt. I'm talking about the old MSX 100 volt 1845, because it just instills confidence, like high-speed confidence. It's just got that effortless acceleration from about 20, 25 miles an hour. It just goes. And I remember taking it abroad on the Eurostar as soon as I jumped off, and I'm not sure if it was Belgium or maybe it was in Paris, France somewhere. I was riding, and it just have that confidence that you have the power. That was when I knew, listen, I love Gotway from now on. That's it. And now the next two is now the MSS.
Yeah.
Now the MSS is a modification of the MSP.
Right.
It's okay. So this modification is essentially, and this is in partnership with EUC Service, a company in Poland. So what EUC Service did was they took the motor out from an MSP, which is still a great motor, but it's 2,500 watt nominal. Yeah. It's smooth. And then he got another motor from the same company that Gotway gets their motor from, according to what he told me. And then what he then did was he then took that motor, did some of his whatever, I don't know what he did with the winding or whatever, made like this wheel. It feels like in between a 16X and an MSP. It's there. It wants to go, not as much as a 16X, but it's got that torque and that eagerness.
Right.
But at the same time, the top speed is just crazy. Like, I was watching a video from Adam from Wrongway, and he was like 72 kilometers an hour, and he still felt like this thing can go all the way to 80, because when I'm guessing, when it leaned, there was still a little bit of torque there. It still wants to go even more. Yeah, like when I wrote that, so I wrote that wheel 2.5 months ago when EUC service was still doing the development. So I'm probably about 8 weeks ahead of most people anyway, in terms of knowing about this wheel. And it really surprised me because it's not as smooth as the MSP in terms of the power delivery, but it's like a sports car. It's just there, it's ready to go.
So out of the MSX line, you would say that MSS is still is the best one yet?
For now,
yeah.
Yes. Or it depends on what you want from your wheel. So the most important thing is, for me, I like the MSP because it's got that refinement. It's got that torque. But if you want that top speed, then the MSS.
And what's the top speed on the MSS?
The one that I've seen, and this is based on what Runway has done, which is about 72 kilometers an hour, but I think it can definitely reach close to 80 kilometers an hour, according to what he said. But I don't like doing high speed anyway, because that just scared the living daylight out of me. I don't do top speed.
Yeah.
But
EVX said the same thing, 72 miles per hour, unless you're heavy.
Yeah, unless you're like you.
All right, Mickey's got to go back to work. We'll see you later, brother. And don't worry, we'll go through your comments there, and I'll make sure everybody knows your stream coming up. And those for those that are in the chat now and those that watch it back later. EVX is saying that he might start doing a live stream on Friday. He's doing a giveaway. He may start this Friday. So just check his channel, and I'm sure he'll be posting it up anyway. Mickey's a good friend. He definitely promotes all of these wheels in this wheel culture, just like I'm trying to do and Afeez is trying to do. So I wanted to make sure that that's said. EVX, we appreciate you, bro. So you were saying, so MSS, you said that motor though is from EUC service.
It's from EUC service. So that is a modified MSP from EUC service.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it have that? Are you, because it's you and him in a partnership, is it gonna cover the same kind of warranty for that modified motor?
Yes.
Okay. That's question one.
When you say you, you're talking about erides.co.uk.
Yes, erides.co.uk is the company that Afeez is he runs also. That's one of his companies, in case you didn't know. So, and he partners because he has pretty direct connections with a lot of the people in that make the wheels. So he's able to offer that. So if you're in the UK, you definitely should be getting your wheels from him. And the other question I had was, because we have so much trouble getting it here. Yeah. Is it impossible for us to get one from you?
No, it isn't. If anything, I mean, you can go onto the website right now. Yeah.
Shipping wise, because getting them,
we'll ship it. I mean, it's UPS, right?
Yeah, right. That right. Look, I'm asking an honest question because every time I hear people talking about you and e-rides, they're talking about in the UK, and I'm like, okay,
well, that's gonna change soon though. But you can find out soon.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Now, I don't want to take away from the U.S. and understand that I have been dealing with eWheels.com directly. Yeah. And eWheels is fantastic. Shout out to Jason. He is fantastic, and he has supported me and my EUC efforts from the day that I started and wanted to jump on EUC. He gets back to me right away, and he's been amazing. So if you're in the U.S. and you are looking to get a wheel and you don't want to go that far over the water, well, we do have a distributor here in the U.S. that he's fantastic. So eWheels.com, and if you want to, you can use the eWheels.com/ThaBlackCobra and let him know that you heard about it from me, because he is amazing. And honestly, I do a lot of business with a lot of different people, and he's one of the few people that he reaches back out to me almost instantly. It's like I put something out, and he's busy right now with this pandemic. Business is booming. There's a lot of people getting personal electric vehicles, and he's always busy. He's like, but he still finds time, even if it's one line, he'll send me something back, and I appreciate you, brother, for that.
I heard British as well, so
yeah. Okay. Well, okay.
So he knows.
Yeah. Oh, so now you
He's
claiming him?
family anyway.
Now you claiming him? Come on, man. Come
I'm
on, man.
claiming Jason. He's family.
So, and while I'm talking about Jason, I do want to say that my 16X has been excellent to me, and it works great. But he did send me a little modification. I do got a new motor to put in it, and stay tuned for that. So,
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So what I missed was Marty, and I hope he's still in here. Remember you said that you didn't get an answer, and you were going down there. I wanted to make sure you saw this in there. He said this time he's gonna loan you a wheel when you go down there. So
Yeah.
if you don't got nothing to ride, and for those of you who haven't seen Marty's list of wheels, oh my God, he took a picture with all his wheels. Oh my God, Marty, it blew my mind. He's got like just a string of wheels. He had them all surrounding him. It was crazy. If you go to his page, you'll see the photo of him.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, those who love it like we do, you see something like that and we just drool. I'm not even gonna lie. Somebody asked what firmware I'm running. The newest firmware they have, I don't, when an update comes, I update, and I say the newest firmware, but I haven't checked it recently, so I can't really tell you. But I know people were flip-flopping and doing all that, and I haven't had a problem. Honestly, I haven't had a problem with my 16X, and I'm still in love with that wheel. The only reason I got the Monster is because I'm a bigger dude, and when you get to the higher range, I'm at 30 miles an hour. Beep, 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 beep. I'm like, oh boy, I think I may have to go up a little bit. so I went up to a bigger wheel with 100 volt V3, so that I could, if I have to keep up with the big dogs, I can keep up with them.
You can now.
Yes, and that was the issue. So let me scroll through a little bit more. Yep, Tesla.
Tesla.
He was saying Tesla's normally only 10, 20 watt hours. You know what's funny? And that's Marty saying that. Oh, I think he's saying it because someone asked about it. The Tesla's only a 10, 20 watt hour, but honestly, I never had an issue with it. I never had an issue with the
range.
But I didn't really push it super far. But honestly, I never had an issue with the Tesla. It was the only problem I had was that there was something wrong when he shipped it to me, and he never told me. So, and because I bought it used, there wasn't anything I could do about it. So I didn't appreciate that. That's why when I say Jason and you are behind E-Rides, when you know the people that are behind the company, it's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot better. Absolutely. I'm not sure, was it Marty that I watched one of his videos? I think there is a Tesla 1,400 watt hour or something with a bigger battery size in the Tesla.
Oh, the V2?
The V2. I think it's a...
Marty said that in the comments too. The Tesla version 2. Yeah. It's a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Marty can probably, correct me, but there is a V2 directly from Gotway, that is only 1020, but there's another one that is 1,400, and that might not be from Gotway. I'm not sure. So
we got Archie. Archie's in the house. What's up, Panda?
Yeah, what's up, Panda? How you doing? Yeah, so I think there is a bigger battery version of the Tesla version 2.
Okay.
So Marty will probably tell you that. I knew this because I was watching one of Marty's video.
Okay.
So hopefully that's
we'll have to talk about that. He'll probably throw that in there. And James asked a question. James said, Cobra, how you liking your Monster V3? I'm loving it so far. I rode, 10 miles one day, 10 miles the next day, 6 miles just today. Only reason I ain't riding today is because I'm doing this. So let me tell you, I'm loving it. I'm loving having a bigger wheel. I can tell you it's different, definitely different because I was going to say I haven't had a Gotway wheel, but the Tesla's Gotway. So I have, and that's probably why I know that part of it, but going to the Monster is a lot different than the 16X. The power obviously is a lot better, but the torque is nowhere near the same. You know, I really got to lean into it to get the monster to give me what my 16X gives me without like breathing. Like I don't even have to breathe on it, and it's just it just takes off. Whereas the monster, I have to give it something. I have to, you know, I've actually leaned the pedal slightly back instead of, and that was one of.
I see what you mean. So it's a little bit like that, so you can lean into it.
So I can lean into it because and for anybody in the comments who has a monster, you may want to help me with this. Panda would probably chime in too. When you go around corners, it dips forward. As I lean into a corner, it dips forward. So that's the only thing I don't like, and I'm trying to get used to. And because it dips forward like that, and if you stop, like I stopped to talk to somebody while it was dipped, and then when I got back on it, it was still dipped, and I was like, whoa. And it levels right out, and then you go, but I didn't like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me crank it back just a hair. I only put it like a hair. It was at 2 degrees. I put it at 4 degrees. So now when I sit down and when I lean forward, it's like, yeah, there we go. And I love riding the monster seated. Oh, it's
nice, right?
Now, I was already loving riding the 16X seated. So going to this was just like a natural progression, I felt. I was like, man, I love this thing.
I think that's going to be my next wheel, though.
Yeah.
The monster.
I know. I know you're gonna get it. And when you get it, do what I didn't do. I didn't get the T6 headlights. Make sure you get those, because I will tell you that's the other thing I don't like about the monster is the lights. They have the worst lights in the game. And I saw somebody, Wrong Way had somebody on. He was doing his recent episode where he was pimping out his MSX, and he showed a video of his friend that had modded his monster. I really want to see who that was and to like talk to him, and because the modifications he did, I'm going to do. He modified it. He put a RGB around the side panel, and then for a handle, he had a metal handle that
went up a little bit.
Yeah, it clamped on to the main handle, and he was able to hold it. I was like, I want that. So I just.
But you know what though? How would you sit down then?
No, you gotta take it off, and that's the only thing. That's why it has to be small enough, because the monster's already so tall. Yeah. So all you need is a handle maybe that long, just long enough,
and then that'll be okay.
Yep. Yeah. You attach it there, and then something you can just unclamp and throw in your backpack. You know what I mean? And then when you're ready to get off, you grab it, clip it on, and then roll. It's not as easy as what we have there, but I saw this guy's, and I'm hoping that his clamps on and off like that. I don't know. He might just leave it on there. I don't know, but I know when I saw it, I was like, yes, it was metal. It was not that long, and you could see through it like it was a metal framework, and I was like, that's dope. So
you need to be careful though, because it depends on where it is placed, so that it does not activate the lift. Lift sensor.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It was wide enough that I already had it in my mind. You could put 2 clamps on the either side of the lift sensor. Yeah. And it would fit perfectly. And once you clamped it on, you wouldn't have to worry about it, because it can't go over the lift sensor once it's clamped. And I'm like, okay, I just need to see what he used and see if that's something I want to do. So,
no, I like that. I like that.
It looked like a good idea.
Yeah, so. I think for me, the monster is a natural progression. I think when you've ridden fast, oh, actually, I forgot one wheel. There's one additional wheel. How can I forget this? The M103 is.
Oh Lord!
Oh my word! Like that wheel. Oh wow! That has to be the funnest wheel ever. If you don't have an M103, get yourself an M103. Like, I think that's probably one of the wheels.
I'm sorry. Afeez, listen, brother, I love you, but that seems like a clown wheel to me. When I see that wheel, I think of and I think of the clown car pulling up and people jumping out the clown car.
No, I used to think the same thing as well until you ride this wheel. It's not meant. It's basically you're looking at an EUC from a commuter's point of view and a capability point of view. I'm looking at an M10 for a fun wheel perspective. It will put a smile on your face, and that thing is working hell. It's got so much torque. You lean into it and it just goes. You should try one. You might be surprised. I know it looks like a clown wheel.
Yeah, I want to try it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to try it because I want to try everything and review it and do a video about it. I love to share because I love to not like I think my opinion is all that, because I tell people, I mean, on my you go on my YouTube page, you see my video says I'm not a professional at the things that I do, but I just love to do them. So I like to share my opinion, and I would like to ride it. And matter of fact, EVX said the same thing to me. He's like, "Are you gonna do an M103?" And I was like, "Is he kidding? Is he joking? Is he trolling?" I mean, I don't understand. And then I saw your video, that little quick clip.
Don't knock it until you try it, bro. M103 will surprise you.
I will, and I love that you could put it in your backpack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for convenience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I said so. I would like to ride it. I had another buddy of mine from around here. He only has one of those. What is it? What's the S1 or something?
Oh, you mean the
9-bot one of those? He's got like one of those that he bought because he saw me and Ashley Showtime. He saw us zipping by one day. He said, "What is that?" And then he went online and he said that's what they had, and he bought it, and I was like, "Ooh."
So that's the wrong one.
Yeah. And he got it from Amazon. So he's like, and he's trying to figure out how to ride, and he's like, he's like, I'm getting pretty good, and I said, okay, but you need a bigger wheel, dude. That's one of those wheels that you get for your kid or something. That's not a wheel. And he's like, okay. And then I said the 16X, and he saw mine. He's like, wow. And then Ashley has the MSX 84 volt. He's like, man, my wheel don't look nothing like those. I said, that's all right though. You're gonna get there, And he started.
You have to build up to it, right?
These fastest wheel makes me go nuts. Oh, don't worry about it. Listen, and let me tell you guys that somebody just said when he hears us talking about these faster wheels, it drives him nuts. That's Brian. I'll put you up there, Brian. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. No matter what you're riding, and I think I missed what you said you were riding. Okay. 18XL, I got you here, Brian. He said he's been riding for a week and got his first, and he keeps hearing about all these fast EUCs. I've just learned from the 18XL for getting a faster one is easy to listen. Don't worry about getting a faster one right now, Brian. That 18XL honestly is a good wheel. And if you were able to learn on that, you'll be able to do a lot with that wheel. People talking about faster wheels and stuff like that. The only time you really need a faster wheel, usually, in my opinion, is when you're in a group ride with people and you don't want to get left behind. Or if you're a speed demon, which there are several. VT. No. VT.
I like it when you said that.
Yeah. No, VT. Look, VT, we love you, man. We love you. VT will be here next week. We'll be talking to VT. Unless you just love the speed, then great. If you love the speed, go for it. But I'm honestly telling you, the 18XL is a great wheel. And I think that, it's something that you're gonna enjoy. Just hang on to it. Don't worry about pushing that. Because I started on the V8, and the 18XL is more powerful and better than the V8. I just, you're good. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you're right in the sense that you need to start from somewhere, and it's important to get all your basics right first. I'm glad that I started with the 9-bot E Plus, because I was able to train myself. I was able to ride on a thinner wheel. So when I'm now riding the bigger wheels on the wider tire, it's almost nothing to me. It's simple. But when you start riding on the street, it is important you get the basics right first. Know how to turn right, know how to brake right, learn the proper techniques. Because when you go on the street, you have to be safe, and you need to make sure you got your skills, or you might be in trouble. So
right. Yeah. Somebody was asking about that 1480 watt-hour Tesla.
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna start going for the Tesla.
And he said, "See the Wheel Rider store on AliExpress." Okay.
Yeah, that's from Marty.
Yeah. Okay, Marty. Does anyone sell an MSX? Does anyone sell an MSX MSP with a modified trolley handle, decent trolley handle is a must for me, and their standard offering is unusable. You're right. That's a terrible handle. The wheel goes all over the place. It's a terrible handle.
The Nikola is an improvement, though.
Yes, the Nikola is the Nikola is an improvement. Well, okay, because it's got weight. I was gonna say, but the 16X is it. Like when you say trolley handle, can't nobody mess with that 16X handle.
Kingsong, I've got that trolley handle down.
They do.
Out of all of the EUCs in the world. However, I mean, my Nikola, I think I probably didn't mention that I also have a Nikola, but yeah, I've got a Nikola as well. And the trolley handle is the best Gotway trolley handle that they've ever produced. But you still need to be very careful because I've seen the trolley handle bend if you drop the wheel, if it comes up, and then that's the first thing that gets bent. So what you need to do is put a Velcro around it. And that's what I've done as well. It just means when you crash and it goes tumbling, it doesn't flip up. It holds it down. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, so we got a question here. I just wanted to see okay, so am I clear that we can order the MSS now, today, shipped to the States here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia? Can they order it now or is it coming?
So you can go on the website, you can order delivery or at least build, will start at the end of the month. If not, then early June. It probably takes about a week to get a UPS. I think that's how long it takes. And we just ship it to you.
And that's going to be, they have to go to erides.co.uk. Let me put that up. Eride. Why does it keep correcting? I hate when it corrects it. .co.us. And if you go there.
.uk. I'm not
UK. Yeah. Sorry. I think I've been trained.
Yeah, I'm from the
UK. So there you go. In case you guys didn't know, it's erides.co.uk, right? So if you guys want to go there, and you can order that MSS if that's what you're looking for. But I do believe, and I think someone mentioned also in the comments, if you're not looking to order from the UK, Jason also has a modified wheel. They're asking, does the MSS have a 100-volt MSX motor in it?
No, it has a different motor to the MSX. The motor in the MSS is a different motor entirely to the MSX motor.
Okay, so I can tell you also, I want to put this up because I want you guys to check into this as well. It's the, like I said, eWheels here also has an option. I forget what they're calling it, but you can also go to eWheels.com/ThaBlackCobra and they will he'll let you know, because I can't think. If somebody in the comment, Marty, maybe you want to fill me in because I forget what they're calling it, but I know that they had come out with a modified one as well, and they were trying to give people an option because people were saying the same way. They wanted that power, but they want that top speed, they want that torque, and they we want it all. Obviously, we want it all. It's hard to get it all, but we want it all. And so I know they modified one as well. But that MSS that you had, a lot of people were asking me about it. So at least now they know where they can go to get it. So, so yeah. So let me press on, because look, this is what happens every time we do this. We can talk forever.
Yeah, sidetrack.
Okay, that was for so which one? S18 or V11? What's your preference?
Wow, you have to drop that on me now.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I gotta do it. All
right. I honestly thought I was going to escape that today, but okay. So,
nope.
And this is because on my show I had Sean from NYC, and I had to put him on the spot. So
yeah, you put people on the spot, so it's your turn. Talk to me.
Okay, so you know what? Today Coogee dropped a teaser video of the suspension of the V11 going up and down. I think it was just a quick Instagram um you know post, and it changed my mind in terms of the V11. So I don't know. I think, all right, let's put it this way. Okay, I'll tell you something. I I always look at things from a very simplistic point of view in terms of what I want or a mission statement, and that's what it needs to start from. If I want a wheel now, why will I want any one of those two wheels? Because of the suspension. Okay. Um, who do I think has done the suspension properly based on what we've seen so far? It's very hard to judge these two wheels without me actually riding them. But based on what I've seen, exactly. I mean, based on what I've seen so far, I would say the S18. However, looks are deceiving, and sometimes the simplest solution might be the best solution. So when you take all of that into account, and you think about the way the in motion looks in terms of the way it's sailed, the way it looks, like it can take a beating, the fact that it has a bigger battery, um, higher top speed, then you start looking at the lights as well. Uh, yeah, I mean the V11 by all accounts is not the most beautiful wheel to look at compared to the S18. The S18 is beautiful. Now, exactly. So if I look at it from an EUC perspective, where I don't want my wheel to break all the time, at least I want it to be future proof. I want to, and this is just me talking about me personally, not as a owner of erise.co.uk. This is just me for my own personal use. Exactly. I'll probably go for the V11. However, don't forget that most of the time, the reason why we get the EUC is because of the wow factor. Like, what are those? And you can't take that away from the S18. It gives you that, what the hell? That look of, with the suspension popping out, and it just looks beautiful. So if I have to choose between the two, I'm probably gonna have to go for the S18 because I already have all these high performance wheels. Do I need the suspension? Maybe not. I don't need the suspension that much. Am I going to be going trail all the time and going jumping off cliffs? Not really. But do I need a wheel that looks good so that I can convince other people to buy EUC? Yes. So based on that, I would say S18. Well, my head says V11, my heart says S18. Essentially, yeah. Yes. I'm not gonna give you the right answer. You know what? I'm gonna become a straight up politician right now, and I will not give you a straight answer because I know you want a straight answer.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Whoever said that. Somehow my mic got muted. I don't even know what happened, but I appreciate
Oh,
that. Somebody caught that.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
listen, what I'm hearing from you is
yeah,
that you know, oh, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a straight up politician answer,
I'm gonna
but
be a politician right now.
he's going from okay. So personally, you're talking about looks and stuff, but not just because you're thinking of your company as well. Because you're
Yeah.
thinking of you'll be able to sell it because of how it looks. It'll draw more people in, and I get that.
Yeah.
Um, and I get it. You're right. And what's up to Two Slice? He's always here too. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming through. And yes, you're paying for the design. That's what I think of. You're paying for how it looks. And yes, that's part of it. You're right. You're absolutely right. How things look. We're passionate people. So when we see something that
Yeah.
we like, that's why a sports car is like, and you just okay.
Yeah.
Where do I sign? Because you want it, and that's the
Logic goes out of the
yes.
window. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
about logic.
That
Just
part
want
of
it.
your brain is just like ding, 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 ding.
It just goes,
But
just
but
dies.
for me, it's not. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm the same way. I look at it and I'm like, damn, that's a sexy wheel. But when I look at the V11, I think of everything that they have. And I said this on the last one last week. It's the culmination of
Yeah.
what Emotion has done. And I'm not just looking at it as a suspension wheel. So if we're just looking at suspension wheels, just strictly suspension wheels out of the two, Okay,
Yeah.
the S18. But if we're looking at the fact, and I'm looking at this, I was waiting for InMotion to drop a new wheel because the V10 to me wasn't enough. It just didn't have enough for me to go ahead and say yes. So I was like, what's next? And when they dropped the V11, looking like a sexy tank, that's what I think, and like having that big bright light and I'm like, yes, compared to the V11, it doesn't look as sporty. I mean, compared to the S18, it doesn't look as sporty, but I like the look of it. When that picture that Coogee put up next to the V8, the V10, and then the V11, you're like,
it looks chunky, right? It looks chunky.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
But don't forget, you coming from a military background, right? That's you've got.
Hold on one second, Marty. I don't know if he took off already, but Marty said he had to take off. We appreciate you stopping through, brother. Yep. And we're here, Wheel Life Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, there'll be something new, so come back. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you like that tank.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you
16X.
16X, straight up. I'm probably going to guess right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you like the Cybertruck?
Yes.
You like the Tesla Cybertruck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to get the Cybertruck. I just, my finances ain't right. The way my bank account, there's a checking and a savings, and it ain't gonna work. So,
but you like that, right?
Yes.
So, it makes sense, right? From the look side of it to appeal to someone like yourself because of that, right?
Yep.
Your military background and that look. But there are some people out there, I can assure you that if I was to ride into the center of London right now, or if I was to go to the Parliament or whatever, and I was to take the V11 and I was to take the S18, the S18 will grab a lot of attention because it looks like something that they're probably familiar with in terms of suspension. It's got a mountain bike suspension. So I can say, well, for example, this is great because it will help you go over bumps. And I go, it looks like a mountain bike. Yeah, it looks like a mountain bike. So one is relatable. Two, it's relatable from a sports car, perspective, that kind of exposed metal, look as well.
Yeah.
It's customizable as well. I'm sure it is. It has to be. Kingston, please let it be customizable. I want to change different colors like red and orange and black. So
you mean
and white.
you talking about the side panels and stuff?
The side panels. I want to be able to take it out and change the colors.
Right, because all of those iterations that they put out of the different colors, that's just people changing the color, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna be able to do that.
No.
But the good thing is, there's always you can always put a
You can always wrap it.
You can wrap it, so we can always change the color. That's easy. Easily doable.
Yeah, but for the looks, listen, you're paying for the looks with the S18 because if you look at the battery as well, it's a smaller battery as well. I mean, but yeah. So for me, once you've ridden a Gotway MSP, for example, or even a Monster 100 volt, you're only gonna go to that level of wheel, like the InMotion and the S18, because of something like the looks or whatever or suspension.
Yeah.
But it performance wise, they wouldn't do it for me because I've already
no. And honestly, I know that. I look. That's like I said. That's why I got the 100 volt Monster here because it was between the 100 volt MSX or MSP or MSS or whatever or the Monster, and the MSS. All of those are ugly. The whole MSX line, I can't stand the way they look, and you have to sit so low. Look, again, I'm a big dude. I'm 230 pounds, 5'11", and to squat on that thing, and I'm no spring chicken, so my knees are not the youngest as young as they used to be. So squatting to sit on that MSX, and the seat is low, too, like it's a thin seat. It's not even. I was like, nah. So if I had a choice between that and the Monster, I had to go with the Monster because the Monster's much bigger. The Monster is definitely something that gives me that height and gives me that power and the range. So that's the only reason why I went with it. When I look at the S18 and the V11, I'm like, I want one just because it's new.
And it's got suspension.
But I also wanted an InMotion wheel. Like I already wanted the next InMotion wheel. So that's why it's like, okay. It kind of made me like, okay, I got to get it because I wanted that next InMotion, and here it is. It just happens to have suspension.
The emotion then. So you're going for the emotion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And I figure I should, because people like you and other people are going to get the S18, and we'll just swap and ride wheels.
You see, he's trying to catch me. I gave a political answer. I think he's trying to catch me. No. He's trying to catch me.
I already know. You're going to be getting the S18.
You already know, right?
Yeah, I already know. You may offer both, but
Yeah.
I think you're going to be riding the S18. I know.
I mean,
You don't got to answer it. I know. I'm going to say it for you.
I guess.
Afeez S18.
You're bad.
Okay.
You should be a lawyer.
But listen, V11, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
S18, 31. Just saying. V11, upgraded batteries. Just saying.
But listen, people are gonna go back and tell you, listen, I don't need to go that fast.
No,
I'm okay with my 20. Yeah,
it's true.
People are always gonna say that.
Look, honestly, 30 miles an hour is what I want to travel. Yeah. 30 miles an hour is good for me. I just like to be able to go 35, 36, but 30 miles an hour is like good, and to have enough headroom, like they say, so you're cruising at 30 and you don't got to worry about it's about to cut off.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It's key. I think it's key. All right, let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. What's the fastest you've gone on your EUC?
The fastest I've gone on my EUC is not in the UK. Just to let you know.
Vegas. It was Vegas. You too?
No, it was. It's probably somewhere. It's either Paris or in Belgium, and it's probably about 35, 36 miles an hour.
Okay.
Or maybe 30. No, it's 37 miles an hour, and it was on my Nikola. It was when I was in Brussels. So the fastest I've actually been is about 37 on the Nikola. Okay. The Nikola is an amazing wheeler. I know I've not spoken too much about the Nikola Plus. It's an amazing wheel. My Nikola is a little bit different to the Nikola that EVX has.
Okay.
So if you're following,
modified?
Well, it's not actually. So what happened was, there is a first version or the first iteration of the Nikola that had the 18650 cells, but as a result, it had 3 packs. So one on both sides and one at the top.
Right.
And what you can find is that when you're braking, it's not as balanced. So if you're not that trained, you will get more wobble
Right.
Than the one with the 21700 cells on both sides.
They were talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I went to China and I met up with Gotway and the owner of Gotway, and he said, "Hey, you want to try this Nikola?" So it's a new Nikola. So what means a new Nikola? So I tried it.
Right.
And you can immediately feel that it's balanced. It's just the feeling of, you just know that you want to go left, it goes left. You want to go right, it goes right, and it's not fighting you like the older one. So my Nikola gave me that. It gives you that confidence to go that fast,
right? Because
you know that it's balanced. And if you were to hit a pothole, for example, it wouldn't just wobble like the current. Well, the older version one. So the 21700 cell Nikola Plus 100 volt, to me, is another underrated wheel out there that people probably need to.
Yeah. The 100 volt Nikola, it was on my radar too. It's a 16-inch wheel.
And I'm doing something bigger.
Yeah, I already have the 16X, so I didn't want another 16-inch wheel. Okay, let me grab this because he's asked it a couple times here.
What's that?
I don't believe that, Patrick. I don't believe that's correct. Brian is asking, and then you guys can answer here. But Brian is asking the best range wheel, and I still believe that the Monster and the higher level MSX still have the higher range, right?
Well, you see, it depends. Are you talking about factory wheel, or are you talking about modified wheel? Because now you've got people modifying to like 3,108.
Okay, true. Okay, factory, because he's saying the KS. I'm thinking he says XL, so I think he's saying the 3108, but those are modified. The 3100, 3108, those are modified wheels. So to get a Monster stock, I think you can get it, but even if you get it from one of the companies, you guys, it's still a mod, right? The upgraded.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you get it from Gotway have they currently sell an 84-volt Monster with 2,400 watt hour,
Right.
or the 100-volt with 1,845 watt
Right.
hour.
1845, and that's what I
So
have.
yeah, that's what you have. So if to answer that question, the Monster 84-volt 2,400 watt hour is the longest
That's the range king.
stock.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Like stock factory.
Yeah, because he was saying
yeah.
18XL. I'm like, no way. There's no way the 18XL is gonna outrange the Monster. And honestly, even the MSX 84 volt wasn't there. I forgot what the range on that one was, because what does that come with for a battery for the 84 volt?
The 84 volt came up. It was 1,600, but it's actually 1,554 really, if you really. But they just kind of round it up.
Right.
And I think the reason why, whoever's writing that comment is saying the 18XL, the Kingston wheels do get some ridiculously good range, because they allow their battery to go lower than a particular voltage compared to Gotway.
Right.
So you can get more energy out of it compared. So Gotway stops you from going below a certain, battery voltage. So he's not half wrong. The 18XL for range, pound for pound against MSX, it does have more range than an 84 volt equivalent. It does.
But the Monster is still the king, because
Monster 84 volt 2,400 watt hour is still the king. Yes.
Yeah, and James was just saying that he said that the old school 84 volt 24 is still the range king. And what's up, Kamikaze Joe? He's in the house.
Kamikaze Joe, hey.
Yeah, and he says best range wheel is the Monster 3108.
But Spud.
Again, that's a mod. And that Kamikaze, that 108 or 3108, I believe was the one that they were having issues with the wobbles as well, because of the balance problem putting that 3108 in there. And Kamikaze, he says that he's getting 60 miles on the Monster 1845. Yeah, good. And I'm not sure, Kamikaze, how much you weigh? How tall and how much you weigh? Because I think you might be giving me a run for my money, so I may be looking at some good range out of my wheels. So 66 miles, he said he got. Let me see. Big question. Can you please answer? Is the 2200, I put on the screen, is the 2200 watt hour MSX custom, which is available on AliExpress, a good wheel?
I think the guys from New York are probably best. They'll be the best after that question.
Kamikaze's in here, and I'm not sure who else is still in here from New York.
VT can definitely answer that. David Janssen can definitely answer that as well.
I don't think neither one of those guys are in here, but
those guys, and I mean, they love that wheel, by the way. You can see the videos on there. They're enjoying that wheel. They say it's one of the best wheels that they've ever had, and when it comes to performance, the NYC guys, I don't doubt them for 1 second. They know the performance wheels.
Okay, hold on. NYC EUC. Who is that? That's one of them. Is that? Oh my God, Kamikaze, you weigh 149? Okay, I weigh 230. You ain't nowhere near me. I ain't getting no 60 miles out of that wheel. All right, gotcha. Thank you, appreciate that. So, right, and NYC EUC oscillation problems 31A Monster Joe is a lightweight. Right, that's what I was saying. Several people have been experienced that oscillation because the weight is off the distribution.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Kamikaze was saying he's not riding that one, the 3108. He just has it. Okay, well, you're 6 feet. You got some height. You just, a lot lighter than me. Yeah, but still, I know I'm figuring I'm probably going to get maybe, 30, 40 miles out of the Monster, which is plenty for me. I just need I need a fast charger or a splitter so I can make it charge fast so I can still charge up and make it, do my thing. So, Chris, Slim Daddy on time. Okay, Chris. Yeah. What up? So yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting, and I keep getting too close to the mic. I forget. I got a big mouth. So you guys, I really appreciate. Like I said, I appreciate the conversation. Patrick, 150 when he.
What does it say? Let me see it. What does it say? What does it say?
Because Kamikaze said he weighs 162 or something, and Patrick said I weighed 150 when I was 12 years old.
Oh. Oh boy! Come on, be nice. Be nice.
Hey, so Chris, these nerds are pretty good, man. We are right. Yeah, I see you. NYC. He asked, "What's up, Joe? How's those nerds?" I don't know if he's talking about us, but if you are, you're right. We cool. What do you say? But isn't fast charging bad for the battery? Okay, that's a good question.
All right.
Is fast charging bad for the battery?
Okay, so there is this misconception that fast charging is bad for the battery. It depends on the situation. So, there was a report a couple of years ago in regards to Tesla vehicles, right? And people were saying, all right, Tesla cars, obviously they've got supercharger network, and we used a lot of supercharger network when I was going around Europe. And it came back that the fast charging or supercharging of Tesla batteries was not damaging. I mean, batteries, lose range over time anyway. That's just normal.
Right.
But it's not as damaging as we first thought.
Okay.
And it gets to a point where the damage is just not even worth even
mentioning
or just even calling out. Now, moving to EUC, we're not doing fast charging. 3 amps, 5 amps, that's not fast charging for these batteries. They can go higher than that. I remember.
What about a 10 amp charger though? What about I think there was a 7 amp and a 10 amp charger, right?
Yeah, there's a 10 amp of it, and this charges. If I'm correct, you can actually increase the amount of amps on. Yeah, you can dial it up and down. Just to be on the safe side, and this is just me just trying to be safe, but I'm sure it's still fine to go that high. 7 amps, 8 amps, I wouldn't go more than that.
Okay.
I have a 5 amp, and that's the most that I have because I don't travel more than 20 miles or 30 miles on my wheel. So by the time I get home, I just charge it, right? When I'm going group rides with the E-Mavericks of London, by the way, those guys are really fast. I'm telling you, those guys are so fast around here.
Shout out to the E-Mavericks of
London.
London.
The E-Mavericks of London, shout out. We have our stops already planned, so we know we're going to do 10 miles from here to there, sit down, eat some food, charge on a 5 amp charging, and then before you know it's 70%, 80%, and then we'll go to another one. It's that 10 miles away from you. So we are never thinking, I need to get a faster charger, or even if I need to get a bigger capacity battery, more than 1,800 watt hour.
James is saying the same thing. 5 amps is plenty, and I think. See, but I only have a 3 amp charger, so I definitely want to get at least a 5 amp, and so I wish I want to see if I can get an adapter or a splitter or whatever, and try and use, because I have the fast charger for the 16X from eWheels. I just want a splitter so that I can utilize it on the Monster. NYCUC says fast charging is bad for the wires. Are not thick enough to handle it. Fast charge at 7 amps, not above that. That's exactly what Afeez just said the same thing. Yeah. Don't go higher than 7 amps.
I mean, you can risk going higher, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You can charge at 9, 10, but don't go above 7. 5 is fine for me.
We just mentioned that, and I said, do I still got my charger plugged up? No. Okay. Just because we were talking about it. I'm like, I think I unplugged it. And so Kamikaze says he pretty much always does 6 amps. And Brian, I feel bad when that happens. Brian said he got an extra charger for the 18XL. Was that a waste of money? I mean, if you got a second charger, again, if you got 2 3 amp chargers and you're actually no, but I don't think the 18XL allows double charging. I don't think it has a dual port. The 16X has that.
No, the 18XL also has that as well.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah. So, the Kingston have that.
So if you have that, if you have that second charger and they're both 3 amps, you're good. If you had a 5 amp and a 3 amp, I mean, that's 8 amps is you'll be all right. But again,
you'll be all right.
The question is, does it cause damage over time? But honestly, you just don't want to do that all the time anyway. I don't use my fast charger on my 16X except if I've been riding hard and then I come and they're like, oh, we're going to go for a ride again. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So I let it cool down a little bit and I put it on the fast charger and then I want to go back out. That's the only time I really use the fast charger. Or if I haven't charged my wheel and like, you know, I've been busy. I ain't rode in 2 weeks and now they want to go out for a ride. Well, I know I don't have, you know, hours to charge it back up, and whatever it's lost while it's been sitting there, I'm like, well, so I fast charge it, get as much as I can out of it, and then I go out, you know?
And you go out, yeah, that's what I do as well. But, I mean, don't charge when you sleep. Just don't ever do that.
That's the scary part. That's the scary part, because you do. I was doing that before with the 16X because it was the charger that came with it from the company. And I was like, well, it's a Kingsong charger. It's only 3 amps. Okay, I'll charge it overnight. And I used to do it all the time. And then I would be nervous because I hear, you know, horror stories. I'm like, what if something does happen? You know, so then I'm like, okay, I'll charge it while I'm home during the day. And that way, if something happens, I'm here to take care of it, you know? So it is nerve wracking.
Yeah, and I'm just reading what Kamikaze Joe said as well. It says don't leave it charged for like a month. That's true. Don't leave it just.
No. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't let your thing charge. Honestly, he says leave it at 70%. Honestly, I ride and then like I said, I'll leave the wheel, and then when I know I'm gonna ride again, I'll charge it back up. So whatever juice I took out of it, I just leave it there. At the lower whatever rating, and I usually come back at like still at like 70%, you know, and then I'll leave it, and then when I'm ready to charge, I'll charge it up again. It's hard though because it's hard to anticipate that when you're gonna ride. Oh, he says also I heard that charging the battery to 100% and keeping it there for a longer time and not riding EC will also drastically reduce the battery life. And the same when you're going below 30%. Is that right? Honestly, like we're just saying, everybody's saying the same thing, that you don't want to leave it charging. Then you don't want to charge it up and keep it full all the time, but you don't want to keep it empty all the time. So yes, keeping it in between and trying to keep it in that range. And then when you're ready to use it, charge it up, use it, and charge it up and use it. You don't want to keep depleting it till it's down to zero either. So you just got to monitor it. It's just something you got to stay on top of.
You have to. You have to. Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of having so many wheels. You have to maintain all of them.
Yeah. Kamikaze says he always charges 3 amps overnight. See, that I was doing that, but like I said, it's because I had the stock charger at 3 amps and the wheel was brand new, and I was like, oh, I'm good. But the more and more, I hear stories or whatever about crazy things happening, I'm like, I don't know. So I do get nervous,
So one thing that Kuji does is he has this container, this kind of box container that he puts his wheels inside. And then in there, it's almost like a fireproof container.
Right.
And in there, he puts it in there, plugs his wheel in, and then close it. And
I saw that. It looked like a fridge.
It looks like a fridge, exactly. And then in there are some balls that I put in there, some kind of, fire dispenser balls that just kind of, explode and puts out the fire. So if you want to charge overnight, that's a way to mitigate the risk of, if the wheel was to, catch fire or whatever, you can do that and buy that. So please look out. For me, I would not recommend charging and leaving the wheel to charge overnight. That's just me. You never know when it can happen. It's one time.
No, I hear you. Okay, so let's see where we are in the questions here. I had no, that was for Tashawn, Mr. Film, Mr. Film all the time. What's the future of EUC look like to you? When you look ahead and you envision the future of EUC, the future of personal electric vehicles, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you think?
I think we are now beginning to get to a point where speed and performance is becoming negligible and is as important anymore. I think when you start reaching potentially wheels that can do X amount of speed and they can climb, up 40-degree angles. It's like, oh, come on, what else do you need? Or you want to climb Mount Everest or something? You want to go and climb a mountain? Yeah. So I think for me, it's all about safety and redundancies and build quality and material used and integration and Internet of Things, IoT, how your wheels can link up to certain aspect of your life. And that is what I think. I'm thinking about smart mobility, smarter mobility. So battery types as well. I know Tesla, they're having a battery day where they're going to reveal a new type of battery that's probably supposed to be better.
Yes.
But yeah, so that could be, so you've got battery technology, you've got motherboards that have got some redundancy built in them as well. You've got motors that are a lot more efficient, maybe better magnets, better wiring, better QA. There's other things so many things that we can still improve on micromobility entirely. Because if you look at micromobility in its entirety, it's basically some stuff that's got battery as a energy storage. You've got motherboard as a brain, and you've got some sort of wheels or motor that goes around. That's it. Those are your three components. What we need to look at is how can we make these components safer, faster, and more durable.
Exactly.
That is the future for me in terms of micromobility, EUC, or whatever.
Okay. And I agree with that. Now, before I speak on that anymore, though, Brian's asking, he has a new EUC. Should he run it where it's flat for 2 or 3 times? I think he's saying, should he expend the energy all the way? And I don't think that's necessary. When you charge it up and you run it, and then like we said, you don't run it down to zero. You run it pretty good, and you still, no matter what EC that you're riding, Gotways are better at lower percentages, but you still want to make sure that you're not riding it down till it's 10% down, and that's dangerous. So you really don't want to go that low. When you get below 50%, 30%, you're in the danger zone. So it's better to just, okay, I'm done, and then charge up. But you don't have to run it all the way out. That's not necessary when you get a new one. So the future of EUC to me, I guess I look at a lot of things, and I'm looking way in the future. I'm not even we're not even touching the ground anymore. I look at hover mobility. I look at all those things that they're, I know that's more fuel with the jetpacks and stuff, but I look at the fact that, like you said, there's a brain, there's a energy source, and then there's mobility, something making us move. I know they were looking at a magnetic thing to glide across magnets. I know they were looking at, they're using magnetic repulsion to push you away from the ground if you were on a track. I guess I look way in the future because to me, what we're doing right now is futuristic. And I think that is even more that we can do. I know that suspension is just one thing going forward. There's one way. But I guess I look way in the future. And maybe I'm thinking Jetsons and, I'm thinking too far in the future.
I know.
I see something coming when I think of people like Elon Musk, who thinks of things in a different way. He doesn't think of things with the blinders of reality on. And I say that because many people look at things like, oh, we can't do that. I don't see it that way. I see, well, why not? And I see some of the interviews I've seen with him, he's the same way. He's like, well, why not? Why can't we? Let's see if we can. Let's figure it out. There might be a way, because we automatically think that's not possible. But think about us. People see us flying by, and what do they say? What is that? That they're like, I've had people say that's the future right there, and I'm like, yeah, right now it is.
I mean, if I may just interject a little bit, and that your question is got me thinking. So, when you look at the practicality of developing what you just think the future might be, I also look at the cost of implementing such a thing. True. If you look at the roads of today, even if you look at the roads of, in the next 50 years, you're still going to have solid grounds, right? And if we're going to levitate, there needs to be an opposing force as well to kind of push you so that you can levitate.
It's repulsive.
Exactly. Absolutely. So to have that, are we going to have the entire ground having magnets to do that, because when you start doing that, the one thing I love about EUC is I can go almost anywhere. I can go from the road to the pavement.
True.
Now, when you start having magnetic, propulsion, it's gonna limit us from where, like, basically what we have right now, unless you got tons of money to put magnets everywhere. Well, and we can just drive everywhere.
Well, think about it. If you mixed it in the concrete.
But what if I want to go? But what if I want to then go on the grass?
Right.
On the grass, or maybe in the park, for example.
Right. That would be a limiting factor. But the reason I say that is because I'm just thinking,
what is possible?
Yeah.
You need to kind of push
the realms of possibility to me are not closed to reality. I think about what we could possibly do if we put our minds to it. And it's just that's just me. I think forward. I look forward. I see that dude. You tell the guy with the jetpack on and he flew out over the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
I would do that. I would do that tomorrow. Be like, sign me up. Sign me up. Because I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Like we told you, the wingsuit, I want to do that. All that.
I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, that's just me. But not everybody's like that. And so when I look at the future, I think of crazy things that we're going to be doing. So, all right, I want to get back to here in the questions. He said, and somebody's already answering him. He said, he's asking about tire pressure. He says, I'm riding at 20 PSI right now, 50% off-road, 50% on-road. I heard that increasing the tire pressure will drastically increase the range, same as seating riding. Is that really true? Okay, so tire pressure does have a big effect. And I realized this because not just listening to people, but doing it myself. When I filled up my 16X, I usually ride at about 30 PSI. When I filled it up and I did it, and I didn't realize how much pressure I put in it. So I think I had it up to like 36 or something. And I rode, I was like, whoa. Like it felt, because the wheel didn't have the same flat kind of surface. Yeah. It filled up, so the surface was sharper. It was more narrow and rounder, so there was more of a flip-flop in it. And I was like, okay, I never felt that before because I never rode at that high a PSI. Then I said, oh, no. I went right back to the car, and I'm like,
come back down.
I let some air back out, and then I'm like, okay, now we're talking. So it does depend. Tashawn, what's up? Tashawn's in the building.
Finally.
What's up?
I was gonna start taking it personal, Tashawn.
Yeah, man. Yo, you was hurting his feelings. You was hurting our feelings. Tashawn. I'm gonna put it. So to answer your question here, yes, tire pressure does make a big difference. And yes, it makes a difference when you're seated or whatever. So yes, it's huge. And you have to find the tire pressure for you, because the tire pressure for me is different. The tire pressure that for Tashawn is different. The tire pressure for Afeez is different. Your tire pressure is personal. I remember, Tashawn. I know you're busy, brother. I just appreciate you stopping in. Tashawn got a new house. He's building a deck on it, and
he's busy.
So he's doing it. And I'm happy he's doing that. It's a good step for him and his family. So, but so it's important. Being a new rider, what pressure should I be on? Again, the pressure you should be on is the pressure that's right for you. 30 PSI for me on the 16X, because each wheel is different also. 30 PSI works for me. Pump it up a little bit more, see if it feels good to you. And if it doesn't, lower it back down. It's all up to you and that wheel. So don't let somebody tell you, oh, you should ride it at this. They can't tell you what to ride your wheel at. Only you can tell you that. But when you raise it and lower it, you will feel the difference. Trust, you will feel the difference. So you have to go ahead and check that, see where the pressure's at, and see what works for you. What do you ride at, Afeez?
Well, good question. So it depends on what wheel I have, and you're right. So for the Z10, I have a lower than normal PSI. I think I probably have about 18 PSI or something, because of the tire wall is a bit thinner as well as wider. On the MSP, I have about 26. Still obviously quite cushy. I like when it's a bit soft, right? It's like an additional suspension, right? It's like I've got a suspension of my knees, and obviously with the tire as well. So yeah, well, normal tire is about 26, 25, 26, 27, kind of between those three. Z10 is a bit of a, different case, so that's a bit lower. I like the Z10 to be a bit lower. Have you ever ridden the Z10 before, by any
Yeah.
chance?
Oh yeah. And
Oh my God.
that thing, that
I love
wheel,
it.
look, the Z10 is a monster of
You
its
know?
own. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The Z10, that wheel, it has a mind of its own. So you got to be
That's
on your
what I'm saying.
game.
Don't exactly. You need like literally when like sometimes I remember when I first got a Z10, and this is because I watched that video from Tushawn.
Yep.
That video was.
Yep.
If I can just go to that video, that video was like, it's like, when you have one of those moments in history, it's just like, okay, that video hit all the right points with the right
Yep.
music, with the right, commentary. It was just right.
Yep.
And I bought the Z10 based on that video, and I had to learn real quick. You can't control the Z10 all the time. You can let
No.
it do its thing.
No,
Let it
but
just-
you can't fall asleep on that Z10. You better be paying attention. You see, Tashawn, look, you affecting people. You got him to buy the Z10. You see what I'm saying? And just so you know, Tashawn, when you get a chance, when this is over, I'm gonna post it up. You need to go back and check the beginning. We showed a clip of 2 of your videos. You and your wife, you and your wife on the Tesla. Now we showed those because Afeez was saying how you got him into riding, and he sent me those clips telling me that these were the things that inspired him and the reason that he initially got into the wheels. And then he proceeds to list all the wheels he has, and I mean he's had, and his list is ridiculous. and it all started from you. Hey, tell your wife we said hey.
Yeah.
And
also just a reminder to Sean, don't forget your next video is coming out June 2nd. That's her birthday. That's her birthday present.
Hold on, Tashawn. I don't know if your wife's still watching. Hold on. I gotta put it back up for her. Hold on. If you watching, Tashawn. You remember this one, I know.
That's the one.
Looks like my wife is enjoying this Tesla over here.
Tell her she's on again.
She used to cruise on the InMotion V8.
Yeah.
And while she does love that
we
wheel,
saw that. We both
she always
watched this
complained
video,
about how
and it
slow it
influenced both of us. We both had a Tesla at one point.
Come on.
And
Anyway, let's do this.
watching her ride so effortlessly and him film so effortlessly. Those are the things that got us into it. It's like crazy. And I'm waiting to show my wife this video because Tashawn's wife reminds me a lot of mine, and I'm hoping that I'm like, look, honey, look. I don't know if that's gonna work, Tashawn. I don't know if that's gonna work, but tell her I said what's up, and I'm gonna see if she can inspire somebody else. So yeah, let me see where we at on the questions. I think we're almost at the end. Let me pull that one down. Okay, this is a question that I asked Tashawn, and it's a filming question, but I mean you make videos as well. So let me ask you, when does it come to life for you? When you're filming or when you're editing?
Okay, so before I even answer that question, you have Tashawn and the proper YouTubers, and you have me down here. I'm like, no way. Look, that's just like that. Saying I have to show this,
and the rest
we're not
of
on
us.
the same level. All right, I'm like, and I'll tell you something though. So, I'm not about YouTube. I'm all about. I know what I'm good at. What I'm good at is influencing from the boardroom, influencing policies, and because that's what I know. And I let the creative guys like the Tushons of this world do what they're good at, and I will do what I'm good at to kind of, hopefully we can both meet in the middle. But to answer your question, it comes together. So when I'm filming, and do you want to see my camera? This is my camera.
Yeah. Hey.
The
best camera there is the camera you have.
And that's what Tushan told me in 2018, and that is why I'm doing that right now. And yes, I can have got a more expensive camera, but I know myself, I'm not that creative in that aspect. So it would just be a waste of money. So this is my camera. So when I'm filming, I'm already thinking about the music I'm going to use. if I really want to film something. Sometimes it's just very much about me talking to the camera and this is what I think. But when I want to shoot like, a proper, feature length, like 15 minutes or whatever, like when I went to China, for example, when I went to Belgium or whatever, I already have that music, when I'm doing this and when I'm going to do that in my mind. It's already there.
Me and Tashawn said the same thing. We just had that same conversation.
Yep. Yeah, I'm like thinking about music.
Music.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So and then that's the first part of it. The second part is when I'm actually editing. Because before I start editing, I have an idea of what I'm trying to do. I kind of put it into 3 different stages: the introduction, the middle part, and then the end part, the conclusion. But I don't know until I start playing around with it. And sometimes it takes me an entire day or a day and a half. And I beat up myself for the smallest of. I'm like, oh, what about this? What if we just cut into this?
Yeah. But that's a good feeling though, because when you're done and you feel that vibe, you're like, yes.
It feels like yours, like you created something special, right?
Like you gave birth and you put it out into the world.
Absolutely.
I feel you.
Yeah, but after it's exhausting. That's why I don't do proper videos. I just like I do videos like once, maybe one proper video once a month.
Okay.
And then in between, I'm like just filming people just writing or whatever.
Okay. So now I understand when I consume your content. Now I get where I get it. So I want to say what's up to Marco. What's going on, man?
Hey,
Mad
Marco,
Pack is in the house.
UK.
And and he says hello to you. He says how you doing. So I just want to to Sean, right? It's true. When you and Marco, you'll probably attest to the same thing, that when you film something and then you edit it and you've gone back and you go back and forth and back. Okay, cut this. Okay, cut this. Okay, edit. Oh, this feels good. It feels like you gave birth to something because that's your creation. And honestly, it's tiring because your emotions are in it, but it's fulfilling when you watch something back and you're like, I did that. And
I did that.
Yeah. And somebody says to you, like we're saying to Tashawn, we tell Tashawn that, hey, you inspired us. We watched those videos and you inspired us. And he's doing what he loves, and what he loves is bringing joy to us. So that has to feel great to him, because it feels great to me when I get comments that say, hey, thanks, great video, bro. Appreciate it. You helped me. I needed to see that. I was looking for that information. Thank you. And I'm like, I just feel great. I feel like I did something good. So.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this right now, and I'm just going to be frank with you and just say, there's no reason for me to try to legalize micromobility. I could do other things in my life. I got other things I could do. But when you watch videos like yourself as well, when you watch videos from Tashawn, so the thing about Tashawn's videos is this, that not only has it inspired me to do what I'm doing right now and trying to bring that aspect into other people's lives, is that he sells this products without actually selling the product.
Right.
He sells the experience and the feeling of having this sort of portable electric vehicles, right? And that to me is a better sales pitch than actually saying, this is an S18. It has X amount of miles per hour, and you should get it. And check out below for my whatever. Like when I watch some of the videos from Tashawn and his music, and it's got that kind of, I feel like I'm in New York.
Right.
And it's got that feeling of, you need to have this wheel because you can feel like this. And even though I can never feel like that in London, it's not obviously, it's not as, crazy like in New York.
Right.
But you feel like there. It takes you to that moment. And that's one thing I like about how videos from Tashawn, for example, or yourself, can inspire other people. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, literally, because of those videos.
And you know what's funny, and excuse me, helping people is like the main focus of my life. I guess I've always been in service some way, law enforcement, military, always in service some way, teaching kids, I taught kids martial arts, all kinds of stuff that I do. So this is just another extension of that. And that comes from my mother. My mother had a huge heart and she was always giving. And that's how I feel like I have to give back to society and community in some way. So people were always asking me questions because I love gadgets and gear. I'm always into some sort of tech. People were always asking me questions. And I'm like, you know what? I would like to find a way to be able to help. And helping one person at a time is good, but being able to make something once and it be able to help 1,000 people is even better. And so YouTube, I mean, the whole idea of YouTube has made me feel like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, you know, we can really reach each other and we can help each other and we can pour out our hearts and somebody else can be blessed by what we created. Over and over and over and over. I'm like, this, it's great. It's amazing. And that's exactly why this means so much to me. And it's hard because I don't have a lot of time in my life. I'm supposed to be doing like 15 other things. And I'm always squeezing this in because there's a passion. There's a fire that burns to make these and to get them out. And when I don't, sometimes when I lapse, someone will come up to me and, hey, I was thinking about getting those AirPods. What do you think about those? And I'm like, hold on. Here's a video I did just recently, and you can see my thoughts on it. You know, not that I'm an expert, but you can see my thoughts because you're asking for my thoughts. So here's the thoughts that I compiled together. I have a couple people who have bought products that I have recommended, and they say, well, I'm glad you said something, and they came to me, and then one person had an issue with his, and I tried to talk him through it. And then he came back to me. He said, man, you always helping. I said, I'm trying, because I love it. I mean, I love gadgets. I mean, I have a fire for them. And when I saw news coming out, I'm like, ooh. so I want to pass that on to others. And, this is the way to do it. YouTube.
And that's the way to do it. That's absolutely the way to do it. And, as I said earlier, there's no reason for me to be in this industry. I got other things to do. But I was inspired because I saw the joy, I saw the happiness, and I wanted to be involved. And it's awesome. And I'm happy that I'm hopefully helping other people and convincing them to get into this industry as well. Yeah. So
Tashawn, he did tell us that y'all went on a trip and stuff. He didn't tell us that you dragged him to Canada, but he did tell us that Tashawn
he didn't drag me. I'll tell you what it is, right? This is my point of view. So I was, and the true story. Before I came to NYC, a week before that time, I didn't know what. As I said, I had 2 weeks to to chill. I was like, what part of the world should I go to? And I remember seeing some of Tashawn's videos. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to New York and go meet the guy. I called him. I was like, yeah, come over. I was like, all right, okay, that was easy. On a train going to the airport, I remember he asked me, do you can you come to Canada? Does your British passport let us get into Canada? I'm like, I'm sure it does. I mean, British colony and all that. Yeah, I'm sure. That was it. Simple. That's I got perfect. To NYC. Simple. Like, as soon as I got to NYC, I was buying some sneakers. He came from work, saw me, we decided, and he was, that's it, we're going to Canada. And that was it. And the next thing you knew, we were driving to Canada, Toronto. We were in his car with an Escalade, I think, Lockprod. Lockprod, yeah, that's it.
Prague? What?
Lockprod.
I'm not sure. I'm sure. Where was it? Tashawn, where were you?
Yeah, Lockprod.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was in an Escalade with the rest of the crew. I was in Tushawn's car, and we just literally went on a road trip to like Toronto. met up with Toronto crew. Jack from King Song, who now works with King Song right now.
Okay.
Met up with him. He took us around. Really lovely guy.
Oh, he said it is Lockprod.
Yes, Lockprod. Exactly. It is
no, wait. Yeah. Locktamar, come here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, his name is called Luck Tomorrow, but he has his own channel called Luck Prod.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, check it out. Really great videos, really nice, slow motion, and some awesome music as well. So we went to Toronto, and we had a great time. It was raining a little bit here and there, and we had an entire house to ourselves. And I remember we're watching the fight, McGregor against the Russian guy, where the Russian guy beat up McGregor. That was crazy. Honestly, that was like one of the best trips ever. And then the next day, I think 2 days afterwards, we had to come back, and then I had to then fly to LA. But yeah, that was it. It was literally like that.
Yeah.
So
But that's good though. But that's what I love about people with passion and positivity. Listen,
do it.
Listen, me and you, like I told you, since we talked, me and you are connected. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
Tashawn, once I talked to Tashawn, done deal. We're connected. And then Marco, I talked to passionate. Talk to Marco. Once done deal. We're all connected. And by the way, I put that on the screen real quick. Marco said we have to do this as a group. Listen, there's 4 of us. I just mentioned all 4 of us. Look, we gotta do something. Somehow we gotta come together, because I think it would be amazing, and there will be a whole lot of positivity shared and spread. And I think that honestly, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I think we are some very positive people, and I think that with positive people we can cause positive things to happen and put it out in the world. And I think that we need to stay connected and continue to help each other, to push each other, so that we can keep doing better. You know what I mean? Because I'm feeling it. Tashawn, I'm feeling it. Marco, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, Marco is someone else as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So listen, we've already been here 2 hours and 4 minutes. So I think I think we need to shut it down. I know it's late over there.
It's like 11:30 over here.
and I told you, it happens every time. First it was an hour and something, then it turned to 2 hours, and now we're over 2 hours. It happens every time because this kind of positivity, it spreads, people. It's electric.
It's infectious. Well, yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah,
right?
man.
So,
Listen, I want to continue, man. We got to keep talking, stay in touch. I reach out quite often, and we will continue to do that, because this is an amazing medium, and I think that we have a lot more positivity to put out there and a lot more things to get done. So, I appreciate you, Afeez, for coming through, man. Thank
you for inviting me.
Yes, man. I like you said, and I'm glad you. Like you said, I'm more with policies and you. Look, some people don't know who they are, and I know that, my thing is my people ask me what's different about, why are you doing YouTube? Everybody's on there. What's different about you? I said, there's only one me. I may make something exactly the same as somebody, but there's only one me. So when you hear my voice, when you hear my energy, when you hear my enthusiasm, it may not be the best, because I'm not the best. There's a whole lot, but you know who I am, because once you feel how I am, I'm honest and true. This is me. I'm not putting on a persona. I'm not acting. This is me. This is who I am. So if you like this, you like me, come back and check me out. So,
awesome. I like that.
All right. So I appreciate you, brother. I'll give you a virtual hug, and my hands. Yay. So, Tashawn, glad you stopped by. Marco, glad you stopped by. James Mucklin, you're always in here, brother. I appreciate you. Brian, real talk. We got a bunch of people that were in. A lot of people had to bounce out, but I appreciate everybody that came through. It means a lot to me that you guys were here. It means a lot to me that we're sharing and continuing the conversation. Next Wednesday, we got VT Vincenzo Tran is going to be in the house. The speed demon. Would you call him the Dominic Toretto of wheels?
You know what? Yes, I will. You know what? Yes. VT.
Yeah, VT will be here next week. So come back next week and check us out some more. Until then, everybody, enjoy your gadgets and gear. Enjoy your electric wheels. Stay positive, but most of all, stay safe. Gear up, people. Gear up. All right? All right, my friend. All right, guys. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.